Being first in the world to complete an Easter egg is something every zombie YouTuber dreams of. I know because I've been first in the world for every single main Easter egg quest. As it clearly says in my bio, first in the world for every Call of Duty Zombies Easter egg, past, present, and future. Regardless, most people still dream of being first in the world. And I think this is something that small YouTubers particularly like to believe in. They think that if they can become first in the world, this will be their moment. The views, the subscribers, the money, all of that will start pouring in. Being first in the world will be the springboard their channel needs to be the next big thing in zombies. This inevitably spawns a race of people racing for 5, 10, 15 hours non-stop for the glory, the honor of being able to say first in the world. And sure, it's a nice personal achievement and cool to say that you beat out all these other people, but does it actually matter? I don't think so. Let's take, for example, the Revelations Easter egg. This was one of the longest hunts we had ever seen, and allow me to introduce you to Nick, also known as Bowtie Geek on Twitter and YouTube.
Well, of course, I was first in the world for Revelations, as everybody knows, but Nick and his friend Caleb were the ones who got credit for being first in the world. So I want to sit down and talk with you today, Nick, to just see how your life has changed and evolved, I guess you could say, since
for sure.
becoming first in the world. So what's different now? How has your life changed? I assume it has dramatically.
No, there's nothing. Nothing's changed at all.
Really? So like women aren't just throwing themselves at you since you became first in the world?
My mom was very proud after I explained it to her. Other than that, no, or arguably, it's been even worse.
Well, that's unfortunate. But what about your YouTube channel, though? I'm assuming you're now one of the top zombie creators on the platform now, right?
I might have like 2 subscribers, one of which might also be my mom.
What about at least like your bank account? I'm assuming that's like quadrupled.
Going from $1 to $4 is technically quadrupling, but I don't. There has not been any monumental change, I would say. Yeah.
So being first in the world didn't create any like life-changing effects or improve the quality of your whole life in general?
I can't say that it has, really.
So, I mean, no disrespect to Nick and his team and their achievements. Being first in the world for Revelations is actually a hell of an achievement when you consider the situation. Interest in Easter egg hunts were at an all-time high. Noah had nearly 100,000 people watching him work on that Easter egg. It was also the finale to Black Ops 3 Zombies, and a lot of people wanted to see how things would come to an end. So actually being first in the world for Revelations sounds pretty enticing and something I think a lot of people would want to be a part of. But being first in the world didn't really change anything. If anything, I think if you're first in the world, you're quickly forgotten and lost to time. I tried to go back and see who was first in the world for many Easter eggs in the past, and I couldn't find much. It's easy for the new ass because everybody who is first in the world types into their title, first in the world, in all caps. But I struggle when I go back in time and look at maps like Ascension. I tried digging through, and the real first Easter egg, in my opinion, is Ascension. So I thought, let's see who was first in the world for Ascension. The oldest video I can find of somebody completing the Ascension Easter egg comes from the Zombie Project. The problem is that I can't say for certain whether or not he's first in the world. He never claims to be first, nor does he mention that somebody beat him to it. I also read through the comments, and nobody even mentions that he's first in the world. Instead, they're just commenting on the video. It's as if people cared about finding something cool in zombies more than they did finding out who was first to find that cool thing. It's a novel thought, and it's hard to definitively say whether or not the Zombie Project was first in the world to complete the Ascension Easter egg. He might be first, or he just might be the first person on YouTube who I can find that had done it. And it's pretty much just like that for every map in Black Ops 1. Being first in the world wasn't quite a thing like it was now. Nobody really claimed the title and put it in all caps in their video. Interestingly, I found a Reddit thread from Black Ops 3 asking who was first in the world for every single Easter egg. As I read through, there were a lot of discrepancies, and some of these maps weren't even that old at the time. For example, the comments claim that NGT was the first to complete Shangri-La, but then somebody else claims that RadAwesome27 was first to complete Shangri-La. Now, I'm not sure whether or not NGT was first, but I spoke to Reed and he told me he was not first to complete Shangri-La, so I'm not really sure about that one. You could also look at a map like DE. Some of the comments claim that Baharu and Noah were the first to do so, but Baharu wasn't even on Noah's team. Noah's team was him, Milo, Reed, and Money Talks. So 3 people have been cut from that first in the world, and 1 person who didn't achieve it was added to that team. That doesn't make sense. Now, I'm not here to claim that the people in this comment section are liars, or that they don't know what they're talking about, but it's clear that being first in the world does not immortalize you in zombies history like many people would think. Just a few short months after DE, and people are already forgetting who was first in the world on that map. Not to mention, being first in the world is a race that's riddled with controversy. The most famous controversy following an Easter egg completed was probably GK. This poor group was incredibly unlikable in the eyes of the community. They would not shut up about being first in the world and talked about it repeatedly throughout the cutscene. And people were angry about this, and this is where the meme "first in the world" really came from. And people might have been mad for good reason. This was our first exposure to a major moment in the zombie storyline, and it was kind of ruined by a few people screaming "first in the world." They were actually so unlikable in the eyes of the community that as soon as the community learned that they had glitched the zombies in the boss fight, they were ostracized. They received an outpour of hate, so much so that when JC's team completed the Easter egg shortly after, the community essentially agreed to never speak of these people again. And they had decided to move the title of First in the World off of their heads onto the heads of JC and his team, and they were crowned the true winners of the race to complete GK first. It's some 1984 shit. And the controversies go on. Origin's ending was data mined. Play the Game had the steps to the Mob of the Dead Easter egg. During Dead of the Night, a disgruntled QA tester put the steps to the Easter egg in Milo and Smart Guy's chat, and then they had followed them to complete the Easter egg. And this one was a dumb controversy. What were Milo and Smart Guy supposed to do? Just ignore these steps and follow bad leads that they know are bad, or pretend they never saw the solutions and try to solve it otherwise? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't seem possible. They also didn't ask for this help. It was just given to them. Easter egg hunters get help from their chat all the time. How are they supposed to know this random guy in their chat is actually a QA tester? You can't. Ancient Evil was also no stranger to this controversy. Unpunked was the first person on YouTube to complete the Easter egg. He then uploaded the ending to YouTube and went on his first in the world victory parade, as any other YouTuber would. However, he found out a little bit later that some random solo player had beaten him by just a few minutes. The internet then went after Unpunked and attacked him so much so that he fled from social media. Like, what? I'm sorry that somebody got excited about something and then some random person that he had never heard of actually was the one to achieve that thing. It's silly. And it was this incident that kind of sparked this topic in my mind initially. I think to many small YouTubers and many big YouTubers, being first in the world is the end-all, be-all. And it shouldn't. You may get a few more views on that day for being first in the world, but it won't mean much in the long run. Most people who are first in the world are quickly forgotten about and lost to COD Zombies lore. I also think that many people in the community who don't make videos, that they have this idea that the race is something pure and the purity of that race should be maintained, but quite frankly, it isn't. The race to first in the world has a long and storied history of controversy, and it's filled with everything from leaks to glitch steps to data mining. So people getting worked up over who's first in the world shouldn't be doing so. This is something that is going to happen and continue to happen as time goes on, and we shouldn't turn somebody into public enemy number one because they made a mistake when trying to become first in the world. It's so stupid, and the internet has a bad habit of becoming vicious sometimes, and I think it's for the betterment of the community if we stop caring about who discovered things first and instead start caring about what has been discovered. That's going to wrap things up for this video. If you enjoyed it or found it interesting, maybe give it a like, possibly subscribe for more. I'm always covering zombies, so if you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'll enjoy the next one. Have a wonderful day, and bye.